Hello, people. I'm super excited to have you all here. Excited about the conversation that we get to have today. And this is exactly what this is all about, a conversation. This is not a monologue, it's a dialogue. That is why I just want you guys to be present. Since this is not a lecture, this is not a test. It's just me and my team coming here and speak to your minds. And one thing that I know all about all the people present here is that you guys actually want to make an impact and to learn something. And I say that because you guys could have been doing anything else, but you guys are here. And to be honest, this moment should be acknowledged. And I promise you guys that this event is going to be worthwhile of your time. So, not taking any more of your time, I'm just gonna jump to my brief introduction, so that you can actually associate a label to the space. So, my name is Mohammed Atif, and I'm a very small part of PDC, which is one of the most vibrant and effective student-led organization as of now. PDC is officially working in collaboration with University of Ottawa and specifically under the supervision of our Vice Dean of Graduate Studies, Professor Liam Payton. Now, here at PDC, we have a motto of self learning and growing. And one of the most imperative purpose of PDC is to help students like you to enhance skills to enhance your skills by conducting workshops and seminars such as this event and provide you a platform to discuss all the university related issues and most importantly help you connect to the people in the industry and to professors themselves. So let me get into the details of what the whole event is all about and what are our plans for today. So, guys, we already are pretty much done with the introduction part by now. Further, I'm going to discuss that why specifically we have chosen to talk about LinkedIn itself today. And since I've already mentioned that this event is all about having a dialogue, so we are going to have a session in which I would like you guys to pitch in your ideas regarding the basic mistakes that you think people make while working up their LinkedIn profile. And based on those mistakes, me and my team are going to provide you guys some really awesome tips and tricks which you can imply on your LinkedIn profile, and in no time you can improve it for good. So there also will be a live demo session in which a good and a bad profile will be compared side by side, which in fact will give you a better idea of how to apply these tips and tricks, uh, of how to apply these tips and tricks. And last but not the least, guys, the highlight of the event. You guys get to come forward and show us your LinkedIn profiles only if you're willing to do it, and get it positively critiqued by our esteemed executives who are actually working great internships and jobs within the industry and university. So, guys, without any further ado, let's move forward. So, today, we are here to talk about a very pressing issue. It's not nuclear arms, immigration, or COVID itself. We are here to talk about the opportunities that lie ahead of you and what does the world need that your talent and skills can provide, and how you can reach out to millions and billions of people all over the globe and portray yourself in the most effective way using LinkedIn as your virtual face. Now, 5 or 10 years ago, we never could have imagined that networking could be pretty easy and very much complex at the same time. It was rarely a possibility. It was rarely a possibility that people, even from different states and provinces, get a chance to apply jobs in different states or provinces. But now, LinkedIn have actually brought those opportunities at your fingertips. And a person sitting in any part of the world, be it a first world country or a third world country, can look up opportunities all over the globe. Now, you guys might be thinking that why are we emphasizing here so much on LinkedIn, as there are other platforms as well that allow you to look up jobs as same as LinkedIn. But guys, believe me, nowadays networking and connections are the most vital part of all the professionals out there. And whenever the name LinkedIn reaches our ear, the first thing that pops up into our mind is connectivity. So there's also a crucial fact about LinkedIn that I want to share with you guys, that LinkedIn statistics shows that around 70% of the members were hired at a company where they had connections. And this might like and believe me guys, today there is no better way of connecting to people better than LinkedIn. And it also proves the saying that it's not always about what you know, but who you know that makes a difference. Moreover, for students and recent grads like you and me, LinkedIn can actually act as a virtual resume. You can tell others who you are and what your focuses are. It helps you network and communicate and grow and collaborate with people on different platforms. LinkedIn actually helps you to connect with recruiters, people working in the industry, hiring managers, research companies, and the list goes on. Now, as promised, guys, and I've spoken a lot. Now, as promised, that it would be a dialogue. So I just want you guys to take a minute or so and given some given give some ideas regarding what you guys think, that what common mistakes people make while working up their LinkedIn profile. So you can take about 60 minutes and put in your answers in the chat or open your mic and just come forward and say anything. So your 60 minutes to start. 60 seconds start now. Come on, guys. Put something in the chat. Okay, I saw a hand and then it apparently, yeah, yeah, not putting in a picture. Yeah, nice. Anyone else? Yeah, yeah. Okay, yes. Okay. So I think we have got some responses here. So I'm just gonna check them out. Okay. Not connecting with people. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I think you guys are actually getting the grasp of it. So if we can move forward, please. Okay, so guys, okay. I'm just gonna continue with that. So here's a list of common mistakes that usually people make while working up on their LinkedIn profile. First, not having a profile picture. You are not connected, and the third point is actually linked with the second point. Since no one among us wants to sound desperate, right? So we feel shy, we feel hesitant to connect with the people, but there are many effective and very good ways to do that. And not having a proper headline or keywords, like this is not a comprehensive list, but apparently this is a list of common mistakes that people usually make. And as we go deeper into the presentation, my team is gonna elaborate some awesome tips and tricks to you guys, which you can apply and eliminate these mistakes from your profile completely. So now over to you, Jotin. Can you, okay. I'm gonna transfer myself to Jotin. Is Jotin here?
Yeah.
Okay, Jotin.
Hi guys. As Chinmay said, no profile picture. I'm gonna talk about something about it. What is the first thing when you visit someone's profile? I'm not talking about specifically for LinkedIn profile. It doesn't matter if it's Instagram, Facebook, or any other social media platform. What do you see first? Uh, does anyone knows? Yeah, as Chinmay said, you see the person's profile photo. It is like the cover page of your own book. Very first, you will be judged by your profile picture. It is your first impression. It is foremost step towards your LinkedIn profile. Henceforth, I will emphasize you on this. You need to keep a profile picture. Moving forward with it, let us look into some examples. Your profile picture should be decent and as professional as possible. It is fine if you upload your passport size picture. That would be even appropriate as it will showcase your exactly the way you are. That's my perception. If you see the photos, there are good examples of your profile picture. Showcasing your profession in your profile picture is also a way towards your profile, who you are, what profession you're into. Just like that guitarist, if you see in the pictures, or an athlete, it shows what you are and what you do, and your profession as such. Now let's have a look at other side of it. If the picture you uploaded that is deemed or shadowed due to some or the other reason, I won't say it is an appropriate one because it won't show you it won't show the person how who you are and you won't be identified clearly. If you see the other examples, you do not want to show your back or scenic photo. You want to show yourself. who you are. Whenever the person who is going to check you on the LinkedIn profile should know that this is the person who I'm going to meet. It will not depict who you are, or can they say, uh, if you see the other photo, the half face one, it will not depict who you are. And also, having a half face or a group photo or party picture is not an appropriate one, because you do not want the person to search for or imagine your second half of your face. And the worst case scenario, blank profile, that is the worst of all, I would say. Do not any no one wants to assume that it is a fake profile. There is 90%, and I would say this on hand, that there is a 90% of chance of people viewing your profile picture is if you have a if you have a LinkedIn profile picture. So profile photo and a professional, it is as important as your other things. So your first step for your LinkedIn profile is uh, getting a profile picture. Towards the other tricks, Samhita will guide you through it. Over to you, Samhita.
Thank you, Jotin. Now, I would like to share some of the additional tricks that we all can think of while creating a LinkedIn profile. So, we need to just improvise a little bit. So, how we can do that? Now, imagine a LinkedIn profile with simply just a profile picture as well as a cover picture at the back. But do you guys really think that would be sufficient enough to stand out in the crowd? Certainly not, right? So we just need to improvise a bit. So what we can do is we can think of creating a personalized headline. Now, consider LinkedIn profile with a headline which doesn't really clarify you a lot. Like if you can look at the picture on the left hand side, this is something that I've taken from my own account. So as you can see, just right below the name, it simply says student. Now, this is certainly incomplete. This doesn't clearly clarify where I'm pursuing masters or where I'm pursuing PhDs or anything like that. Now, if we look at another picture on the right hand side, now you guys can see that it's a clear in a coherent manner it has been explained, like what I am pursuing and which university I'm pursuing a certain course and what other activities I am involved in, right? So that clearly depicts a clear coherence that we all need to think of, and it would immediately grasp the attention of the recruiters and the employers as well. Now, moving on to the next slide, I will bring your attention to some of the important factors which we can also consider, like putting some keywords. Now, what are keywords? The keywords can be in the form of statements, phrases, or maybe a few points. Now, keywords. Now, uh, keywords can put you. If we use keywords, we can think of like it would certainly add a certain weightage to your LinkedIn profile, which would make your LinkedIn profile more professional as well as top notch. Now, choosing a keywords is another challenging task. Now, what we can do, we can think of keywords and align to our field of interest. So that would make a lot of sense, right? Now, while choosing keywords, make sure that you are personally aware of those keywords and not simply just randomly choosing them and putting it on your LinkedIn profile, because that wouldn't make much sense. So, and also, additionally, we can, as we all know, the LinkedIn profile needs quite alteration. We often update a lot, and basically, similarly, we need to do the same thing with the keywords as well. Like, we need to update regularly the keywords that we choose, or with the technology or the advancement of the technology that we learn as we grow. So, we need to accordingly modify our keywords there as well. Lastly, another important thing is that we should not be exaggerating much while choosing keywords, because once we start doing that, it would automatically or eventually lose its essence. And we don't want our recruiters to, you know, ignore that particular profile, just having a brief or exaggerating statements over there. Now, moving on to the next slide, I will talk about the about section. As we all know, we have an option called about section on the LinkedIn profile. As you can see below a picture, yeah, this is also something I've taken out from my own profile as well. Now, as you can see, the highlighted parts are the keywords which I was trying to explain it to you earlier. Like, for example, I'm pursuing a research on a area of connected and autonomous vehicles, right? So the keywords I have put over here is that like connected and autonomous vehicles, security and communication protocols, and mitigation strategies. So these are certain terms, like even you can see machine learning and deep learning algorithms. So these are certain keywords that I am aware of, and I have been working on that for a while. So I feel like quite relevant that I should put it up on my profile, and that's why I've done it like that. So accordingly, you can come up with your keywords which you feel that are very much appropriate to your field of interest, right? And you can also improvise your about section, like, and make it attractive using pretty relevant good words. And also, lastly, you should avoid exaggerating much. Okay. Now I would like Vimantha to take over from here.
All right. So now let's have a look at the education section. Your education section says a lot about you, especially to your potential employers and your former classmates who are looking to reconnect with you. These are some examples of good education section extractions from LinkedIn profiles. And I don't think there's anyone who cares about your kindergarten or junior schools. So I won't recommend you to add such schools just to fill the sections. Keep it professional with the schools, colleges, and the universities which really matters and relates to your profession. While adding a school name in your education section, consider these tips. Enter any extracurricular activities you participated while you were in that school in activities and societies box. Why extracurricular activities? It's simple. Education improves your knowledge. Your extracurricular activities build your personality, your character. Enter any awards or honors that you received from the school or the college in the description. And you can add rich media such as photos, videos, or links or documents to showcase your proud moments while you attending to that school. All right. Now let's have a look at the experience section. The objective of the work experience section in your LinkedIn profile is to showcase your past and current positions. It is organized in a chronological order with current position being on the top. Depending on your age, your career level, and the frequency of your job changes, you might have more or less entries in this section. And one thing I highly recommend is to remove all those work experience which are no more relevant to you or your current profession, as it may create ambiguity among the viewers about your profession. While adding a work experience to your profile, please consider these best practices. Always link your job to the company page on the LinkedIn and add a specific job title, add specific description to each work experience. And this is a easy trick for create a good description. Copy and paste bullet points from your resume over to a new Word document and start deleting. Pare down certain bullets to keep the most major points and high level details. You can also delete some bullet points completely, especially the ones that highlight responsibilities that aren't most important part of your job. Take what's left over and link them together in 1 to 3 sentences. Similar concepts can be covered together in the same line. And as Shamita explained, use keywords in your description. One great thing about LinkedIn is that recruiters often search a site to find out candidates that are good fit for their open roles. If your job title doesn't contain the keywords that they are searching for, but in fact it was a big part of your job, it might have been a big part of your job, your profile may not come up in the search results. Okay, now we have the volunteering skills, certifications, and accomplishments section. Your LinkedIn profile should reflect that you are more than just a corporate creature. And the volunteer section is where you can add the causes that you care about and support apart from the and what is you are supporting apart from the corporate stuff. You can add the organization, your role, the cause it supports, dates of your tenure, and the description about the events and the roles you played. Your care and support for social welfare, environment, and other causes on LinkedIn profile proves that you are a social being too, which your profile visitors may find interesting and impressive too. The certification, the certifications are the is that correct? Yeah. The certification are a great way to showcase your knowledge and professional achievements on your LinkedIn profile, and you have the skills section to tell others what you are and what you can do. Also include keywords that make you more searchable in skills too. These are the best practices that you can consider while adding skills to this section. Don't add any common skills like Microsoft Word, Paint, and etc. Add industry relevant skills. Reorder the list such that the most important skills are on the top, and we have the accomplishments after that. You can add accomplishments to showcase your expertise in a particular field and professional achievements from the introduction card on your LinkedIn profile. Accomplishments include publications, patents, courses, projects, honors and awards, etc. Okay, I would like to ask you to raise your hand if you visited the LinkedIn user's profile and gets as far as accomplishments section. Really, I don't feel guilty about if you don't. Really do most LinkedIn members travel that far down. But there's one solution. Mention accomplishments in your about section. You can write about your outstanding projects or other notables. I suggest making a note of them in your about section. About is most likely the first section visitors will read. Unlike your resume, it is more personal and, in my mind, more enjoyable to read. For a project, you can write a brief statement like this. If you would like to reach about my outstanding projects in landscape architecture, scroll down to the accomplishments. Perhaps you published an article. You can write, do you know I wrote an article on future of internal combustion engines? Well, you can find it on the accomplishment section at the bottom of my profile. And college students should also make use of courses that they have taken and test scores that they have achieved. If you have earned outstanding honors and awards, use about section to point your visitors to the accomplishments. Other types of accomplishments not obvious unless you point your visitors towards accomplishments include languages that you speak, test scores, and the organizations that you are in contact with. So now you have the idea how to help your visitors find what can be a bona fide feather in your cap. And to take you from here, I invite my friend Naureen.
Good evening, everyone. So, LinkedIn endorsements are a simple way for your colleagues and connections to recognize your expertise in a specific field with just one click. These simple endorsements can elevate you and your profile above the other thousands of people on LinkedIn vying for the same career path as you. Think like a salesperson. Determine which of your technical skills and core competences are most important to your industry and relevant to your current job goals. List these skills first, from most important to least important. This is a roadmap for people to endorse the correct talents. Start with your closest colleagues, since these are the people you know the best and are most likely to return the favor. For these colleagues, endorse the skills you have seen them demonstrate in the workplace, and they will be sure to reciprocate. After endorsing your closest colleagues, endorse the skills of those you met at important functions or during your time spent at work, such as clients, vendors, or freelancers. Now, how to ask for endorsements on your LinkedIn profile. You want people to acknowledge your skills and strengths, but you don't want to come off as begging for false endorsements, right? So instead of sending tons of generic please endorse me messages, personalize your request by making note of a specific project you worked on with each person you ask. Gently remind them of your contributions and ask them to offer comments on the project in the form of skill endorsements. There are many people on LinkedIn, but few update their status on a regular basis. This means if you choose to post updates to LinkedIn, you'll get noticed more. If you're sharing insightful quotes and quality content related to the LinkedIn skills you have listed, you will also give them a reason to endorse you for those skills. Now, one more thing. Don't forget to say thank you after you have received an endorsement. A quick but kind thank you for a LinkedIn endorsement goes a long way. Next slide, please. A recommendation is a commendation written by a LinkedIn member to recognize your work. You can request recommendation from your connections you work with or you have worked with. So according to a survey, more than 3/4 of recruiters use LinkedIn to research candidates for employments. In some cases, even before you are selected for an interview. A recruiter or hiring manager will check you out on LinkedIn to see what you have accomplished, who you are connected to, and who is recommending you. This means that recommendations are a vital component of an effective LinkedIn profile. When someone views your LinkedIn profile, they will see an online version of your resume, complete with references if you have recommendations in your profile. Recommendations from supervisors, clients, suppliers, and colleagues affirming your skills, accomplishments, and positive work style will not only enhance your profile, but they will also show a hiring manager at a glance glowing references that attest to your candidacy for employment. So here are some pictures for your references as to how recommendations should be written. Now, thank you so much for staying with us throughout the whole presentation. And now Suhana will be giving an interesting live demo on the profiles.
Thank you, Noreen. Thank you so much, guys, for staying along with us during the entire presentation. Now, we would just try to show you a quick demonstration as to how you can implement the tips and tricks that we have given you today into developing a basic profile into a profile that has its own value. So as you can see, there are two profiles here. On the left, you have a profile that is very basic and doesn't have much of a content, which we created as an example for you guys. And on the right, we have one profile that has all of the tips and tricks that we gave you today to be implemented. Moving back to the starting of the presentation, we spoke about some common mistakes that is made. First, you do not have a profile picture. Another improvement that was given to that particular thing was a tip that you need to have a profile picture, but a good one. So as you can see the difference between these two profiles, here is a picture which was part of not so good example, and the background picture also doesn't talk much about what this person is inclined into. Whereas this profile on the right has a picture where the person's face is clearly visible, and also the background picture has good clarity on what they're inclined to. As you can see, you can say that this person is particularly inclined into the healthcare field, with biomedical being a specialization. Next, moving on to a good headline and a good about using those catchy keywords that you have. So here you can see that this particular student has just mentioned that they are a student at U Ottawa, and nothing much about them is being mentioned. There are no keywords. There is nothing catchy that a recruiter might find in this particular profile. Whereas the other profile that you find on the right has good content written. That is, you know where this person is working, what they are doing, and what they might be interested about. This interested about section comes about in your about section, which is also called as a profile summary, where you don't have to sound desperate, but try to tell who you are, what you have done, and what your focus is. Here you can find that this particular person is using the statement I, me, myself a lot, which sounds very desperate, that they're trying to boast about who they are, and they are trying to showcase that they need to be taken for something, which is not the way people actually look into your profile. You need to have an about section that is written in third person, where it is like if somebody is talking about you, what would they tell about you? That is what is involved in your about section. Also, here you can find that there are good amount of keywords used, though it is written in a paragraph statement. So this is what we were talking about, the difference between using keywords in the summary, be it in terms of paragraphs, be it phrases, or be it points. Here is an example of a paragraph. So you can see good keywords of product designing, healthcare service roles, medical equipment, and so on. So this gives an insight of, okay, this particular profile is inclined towards the healthcare domain. Whereas here you just find one particular keyword, which is biomedical field, but what in biomedical field is not very clear. Moving on to another important point, which is an additional tip that I would give, is the URL that you have to create for your profile. So the URL that you create has to be personalized. LinkedIn is all about personalizing and customizing it, right? So you're not supposed to have URLs that showcase things like a particular number or be it characters written along, but it is supposed to be just your name. So this kind of a URL is usually unaccepted, and a good example of a URL would be this. So you just have, this comes up as a common site for everyone, and here is where you personalize it to yourself. Moving on, we saw a major chunk of information about the education, experience, and involving skills and licenses and certifications in these. So as a major thing, what you're supposed to remember is that you need to give explanation for your skills, for your experiences, for your volunteering jobs, for your education, and all of it. Writing just a vague thing about I did this particular job and this was my role is not enough. You should explain what job you did, how long you did it for, what did you use, so that people, when they're trying to look at your profile, know what your scope is and know what you know and what you don't know. Like we already said, LinkedIn is your virtual resume. This is the same thing that we are trying to iterate between both of these particular profiles. So as you can see, they haven't mentioned much about them. Probably they're still trying to work on it, and maybe there might be someone who might be attending this particular workshop itself. Thank you.